Dropping on Andre Onana. Sounds good, right? Well, especially after everything that United fans have been watching over the last few weeks. In fact, this season. But reading into reports like I have done, I'm going to tell you exactly why this only works as a quick fix, and there is more to it and more that needs to be done with Andre Onana, including his replacement, which we've got stories on today. Brighton goalkeeper Verbruggen. Could he be United's option as a new goalkeeper next season? There is a triangle between us, Milan and Brighton. I'll talk about that in the show as well today. Javi Simons to United, job cuts at United, a lot going on at the football club again, including 25 million quid United are going to make from this pre-season tour this summer. All of that information rolled into one. It's match weekend here for Manchester United. Let's get into all of your Manchester United updates. I'm going to do a little section at the end, of course, for all of your live comments as well. So get them piling in, please, everybody. And let's get into everything that's going on, starting with Andre Onana. Obviously, hot topic at the moment. Now, I spoke yesterday about Onana. I gave my piece on Onana after the meltdown that I had about him and his performance against Lyon on Thursday night, which cost us the game pretty much and really could have affected the tie. United still got work to do when they might not have had work to do, because we should have comfortably won that game but for Mr Onana. So, reading into the reports and everything that came from the press conference yesterday, and you all seen them, you all seen what Chris Wheeler was saying, Samuel Luckhurst was saying, journalists who were at that game and at that press conference, talking about how Andre Onana wasn't really even consoled by his teammates in the centre circle after the game. It's just like one of them situations where Andre Onana has let the teammates down and has let them down and has let them down, and it's continued throughout the season. It's got to a point now where it's crunch time. Everybody's careers are on the line. Everybody's losing money because they're not in the Champions League. Got to remember that with the players as well. And when certain things keep on happening and going wrong, obviously you get fed up. The players get fed up, and the team, I think, are at that stage right now. So, reading into what has been said, and from the press conference, other reports from various different outlets, including The Athletic, like I said, the MEN, the Daily Mail, reading through all of that, the story is that Manchester United are about to drop Andre Onana for the Newcastle game. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you drop Andre Onana for this game. The only thing that we're looking for right now, and as a Manchester United fan base, as a fan that's been sat there watching this goalkeeper week in, week out, all through the season, all through last season, the only thing that you could change, which is going to make a difference with Onana not being in between the sticks for Manchester United, is consistently not being between the sticks and not being in goal for Manchester United. Sorry about going on between the sticks there. If you don't get if you don't get that angle, it means Onana being in goal, basically. But this is the problem that we've got right now. Is Ruben Amorim too soft when it comes to players that he likes, and obviously players that have worked hard in training, for instance? This is what you've got to look at with Manchester United right now and Ruben Amorim, where we're standing with this. I feel you look at what Ruben has said in the past, you look about them players that give him everything, and I'm sure Andre Onana is a model pro and training, always there, hardly ever injured. Obviously, he gives everything in training, he works hard, but there's the training ground and then there's the pitch. And I've discussed this many a times before. It's the mentality factor. You can train all you want, and players on the training ground can be training as hard as they can. They like Andre Onana. He's a bit of a clown and a joker, and that's all good and well on a training pitch. But when it comes to the pitch, when it really matters, and like I said, these players right now, forget about what's going on at the football club. Forget about the football side of things as well. This is affecting them personally as well, these players. And when they're the ones that are becoming the worst team ever in Manchester United's history, and they're getting better, which they are, but they keep on getting let down, which they are, by Andre Onana, then it starts to get a little bit awkward behind the scenes as well. And then you're starting to think, okay, you can see clearly on the pitch afterwards that these players are starting to lose faith in Andre Onana. They're not consoling him the same way as it was. The fact that we're having to say that, consoling him the same way, tells you everything that is the problem right here, right now, that Ruben has to cut out. And if he doesn't cut it out, then we are always going to be in this same spot. Onana should not play a game from now until the rest of the season. And that is what a manager making a big decision is. That is the only decision. If Baindir plays against Newcastle, Baindir plays against Lyon. Andre Onana has had his chance. He's had nearly 2 seasons to prove to the United fan base, to everybody at Manchester United, that he is good enough to be in goal for this football team. And he's not. Ruben Amorim has to stamp his authority on this team now. And going into the summer, definitely needs to be looking to move Andre Onana on. But the summer can be determined by getting a new goalkeeper, by how Manchester United finish this season. So with Bayindir in goal and not Onana, do United have a better chance of winning the Europa League and getting into the Champions League, giving Ruben Amorim more money to go out and buy a better goalkeeper? Yes, it does. And Bayindir being in between the sticks for United now, going forward, I feel is the right move for United and the team. A fresh start, you would say, at the end of the season, going into a crunch period of time. Think about the psyche of these players going into these games. You've got a goalkeeper you know is going to let you down. It's simple. Like, I don't mean to be horrible. I don't mean to be, well, I do mean to be brutally honest, actually. I do. I don't like to single out players. I just like to state the obvious. And the obvious is there in front of everybody's eyes. I was outside Old Trafford. I've just put a video up asking Manchester United fans before this Lyon game if they would sell Andre Onana this summer. Every single fan said they would sell him. Everybody at United knows that he isn't good enough. Everyone who owns the football club was in the stands against Lyon watching him completely wreck Ruben Amorim's system and what Ruben is trying to do at Manchester United. So going into the summer, Manchester United with more money in the kitty, we could actually go out and get a better goalkeeper. More money means Champions League. And to get Champions League, Onana needs to be dropped completely. So if you're a player going into this last phase of the season now, and you're looking behind you, you're looking at Bayindir, the man that stood strong against Arsenal when you had 10 men for, what was it? I think it was near enough 70 minutes at Arsenal. This is Arsenal, a team that has just beaten Real Madrid with a weaker side than what we got a win in the FA Cup with from. Do you know, that's what I'm trying to say. That was Bayindir standing firm in the face of adversity and backing up his teammates. Everybody gave everything in that game, and Bayindir actually pulled Manchester United out of the crap a couple of times. So when you see that as a man in that starting lineup, and you see that as an outfield player, and that's your goalkeeper behind you, you're going into the last phase of this season now. What, a dozen games max if we go all the way through into the Europa League final. If you're looking at that, and that goalkeeper's behind you, you're confident going in. It gives you that little bit of a sort of a boost as such going into the last few games. Ahmad coming back in a couple of weeks, more quality there as well. And I feel like that is what's needed right now. A significant change and a big statement from Ruben Amorim is needed on Andre Onana. But imagine what this does to Bayindir. And then all of a sudden, everything that I've just spoken about there, everything about getting a new goalkeeper and the money that you're going to use to spend on a keeper, you might not need. Because let's be honest, we haven't seen Bayindir play consecutive games ever. This is an international goalkeeper that is ready to go and play for Turkey right now, who is sat there on the bench not being used, who has been and has had one of Manchester United's best performances this season in goal, who hasn't been given a chance. You could play him for the rest of this season and Andre Onana wouldn't have any leg to stand on in saying that that's not fair. Play him. And let's see what he does, because now is the perfect time. You are going to throw him into the gauntlet, basically. All of these important games coming up. Nightmare game against Newcastle this weekend, because we never win there. Obviously, a pressure cooker situation of Lyon and needing to win that game at Old Trafford to go to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Obviously, you've got Chelsea, you've got Brentford, Bournemouth away, bad grounds for us, Chelsea away, we never do well there. Aston Villa at home on the last game. There's some massive games coming up for Manchester United now. And Bayindir, I think you might find in him a goalkeeper that is ready to play for Manchester United and take us into next season. Not spending any money. And what is United's problem at the moment? Not having enough money. So, if we don't have to spend on a keeper, then we could invest that money into the stories that we've been reporting around Liam Delap as our number 9, around Matheus Cunha as our number 10. To the side of that, and if Manchester United indeed do look to sell Bayindir and move Onana on, there is a story going around about Onana being sold to the Saudi Pro League again. And that's come from Nicola Scherer, who, as well, a journalist from Italy, who has been reporting on everything around Manchester United from January in the window when that was open earlier on this year. saying that the move to Saudi is definitely on for the summer and they definitely want Andre Onana. Take him out of the limelight right now. I mean, it's what's the lesser of the evils, you could say, because I know for a fact, without even looking at the chat right now and what people's comments are, you're going to come back to me and say, well, Adam, if we don't play Onana, does that mean that his value deteriorates and him not being in that team looks like he's not good enough, therefore we won't be able to sell him in the summer? And my counter to that is, Andre Onana is okay as a number 2 to step in when necessary. We don't need to sell him. He has a big contract if bonuses are met, but he's not going to meet them bonuses if he isn't playing games. He is a number 2 keeper at best. And I don't mind him stepping in now and then, Carabao Cup, the odd FA Cup game. Manchester United should be able to give Andre Onana maybe 10 to a dozen games a season, if necessary, resting the number 1 goalkeeper. Someone at Man United needs to have the balls to make that call and bench him. And we might not be able to sell him this summer, but I get that. But later down the line, when his contract is running down, maybe someone will see Onana as a different type of keeper and then take him. Look, I'm not bothered. We don't need to sell Onana this summer because we don't have enough in that transfer to break even near enough with financial fair play and PSR. So leave him on the bench. It doesn't matter. And then you could maybe... I mean, there was a story going around about Verbruggen from Brighton. Good goalkeeper, good young goalkeeper. Would be very cheap because Leicester are going down. Clearly, that would be a decent replacement for United. Premier League experienced as well and has performed well in parts this season. But, sorry, Brighton goalkeeper for Verbruggen, not Leicester. I'm completely mixed up there with my goalkeepers. I do apologise. But yes, Brighton's goalkeeper. But there is a bit of a club triangle going on between United, Brighton and AC Milan at the moment, which is that Mike Mignon, the goalkeeper at AC Milan, is in crunch contract talks and not renewing his deal. He will have 1 year left on his contract at the end of this season if he doesn't sign this new contract, which he hasn't already, which is on the table for him. Now, United have actually been linked with Mike Mignon from AC Milan as well as another option for in goal for next season. We know about Zion Suzuki as well, and everybody else. I've said before, about 8 different goalkeepers have been linked with Manchester United. I just look at it and go, do you know what? Money for him, 20 million for Verbruggen, 40 million for Suzuki, 25 million for James Trafford, whatever it's going to cost Manchester United to bring in Chevalier from Lille as well, their goalkeeper, 20 plus million on all of these goalkeepers, and we've not even given Bayern a chance. And you've also got Vitek coming back in the summer. So effectively, you don't need to do anything in the goalkeeping department. If you want to keep Bayern in goal, bring Vitek back in, and you've got 3 good goalkeepers. You could end up selling Vitek because he's a good goalkeeper. It could be Vitek who comes in as a number 1. I would stand firm. But the one thing for certain, and the one thing that will change things for United, we would make more money in being in the Champions League than trying to sell Andre Onana by playing him out the rest of the season, is my point. And that's what I wanted to get across in this, and why Manchester United should drop Andre Onana now and just play Bayern till the rest of the season. You may find a number 1 keeper. Onana is a number 2. And then in the summer, you will have the option then. And Bayern, if you do want to sell him, might have had value to his price tag, which we will make a lot of money off. And let's not forget, if you did want to sell Vitek, who is coming back off loan as well from Austria, then that's 100% profit because he's a homegrown player. And that, I think, is United's angle on the money side of things. But why not save it? Obviously, the comment section is open, everybody. I'm going to jump into that now just to see exactly where you are at with this whole Manchester United goalkeeper conundrum, whatever you want to call it. If you're liking the content, please do pop a like on the video as well, everybody. Loving all of the comments that are in right now. We do have a poll running as well. Do you think Onana will be dropped for Newcastle for 2 games indefinitely? Indefinitely 61%. I think that's more of opinion than actual reality, I would say, because I don't think Ruben's going to do it. But is there anybody on the planet right now that would say that this is the wrong decision from Ruben Amorim? I know from a personal side of things, you're looking at Ruben's relationship with Onana. He's got to know him well. They're probably on. He's probably got closer to the players now, and that's a difficult decision for him. But Andre Onana will understand that he's going to be dropped. He's played poor. I listened to Peter Schmeichel actually breaking down Manchester United's game against Lyon and the mistakes from Andre Onana, and he said the second one was worse than the first one. He said he should have held that one, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with that, but I actually thought the first one myself was worse because he's seen the whole full flight of the ball. And I don't care what Schmeichel says. That ball's high enough for Onana to see it coming in. He knows where he needs to be. He's actually in the position where he needs to be, and he still flaps and misses it. So it's 20 times worse. Surely. Anyway, let's get into some of your comments on this. Please keep them coming into the live section. And of course, if you're watching later on, drop them into the comments below, please, and tell me, talk to me. Would you play Baindir the rest of the season and just drop Onana? I don't see there being any issue in it at all. I really don't. Did you see Matic's post, social media post? He destroyed Onana. Yeah, Rudresh, we did see that one as well. I think that was after the game, wasn't it? Saying Baindir is not good enough may or may not be true, but he is clearly better than Onana. That's why Amorim should have selected Baindir, not Onana. So on this, whether Baindir is good enough or not, how are we judging that? How are we actually saying or coming to the conclusion that Baindir isn't good enough for Manchester United? His price tag? Well, we just bought Hevenin for $1 million and we want him in the side straight away. We only spent a few million on Baindir, and I remember that. And he's not had brilliant. Like, the one game against Arsenal probably stands out, and I'm not deluded. I'm not going to ignore the fact that he's flapped at a couple of things in that game against Tottenham. I remember it coming from the corner. He could have been stronger. But he hasn't been given the chance to rectify mistakes or given the chance to learn and get better. The last game we really seen Baindir in, he performed excellently. And he was good on crosses. He was great at shot stopping. His reaction times were absolutely phenomenal. And he saved 2 penalties in a game which won United the tie. Later down the line, we blew it, obviously. We went knocked out on penalties. And Onana didn't get near any of them. But whichever way you look at it, he hasn't been proven. And he hasn't been given a chance to be proven. That's the thing with Baindir. So, while we've got an opportunity, do we think Baindir is better than Onana? Do we think he would actually give us a better chance of winning? The answer to that, categorically, is yes. Playing the rest of the season, then make a decision. Because that, I think, is what could give United that little bit extra to take us to the Champions League by winning the Europa League. I think that there is realistically the best option for Ruben right now. And I would stand up and applaud him for doing it if he just dropped him now and played Baindir. So, and another reason as well, it's like you could see Baindir against Newcastle tomorrow, and then he has a stormer, and automatically you've got the option then to say, look, he's performed to a certain level there. We've got to play him again. He deserves to play in the next game, and you're praying, aren't you? You're praying that he does well, just so he gets given that chance. Wayne says in the comment section, has anyone seen the saved by United's under-21 keeper from last night against Reading? It was class. Onana would have just watched the ball pass him without even moving. Yes, he would have. I did see the Eli Harrison save in injury time against Reading last night for the under-21s. Outstanding save. Absolute brilliant agility. And this is what Onana does not do. And yeah, I look at it and I go, we have got better keepers all behind Onana. Why is he number one? It's a confusing conversation because there is no reason why he should be playing. There is nothing to say Onana warrants a place in this side right now, or somebody at least doesn't get given a chance to have a go as well. That's the problem I think we've got right now, and it's very confusing to all Man United fans. How is it that the keeper Suzuki, who was worth $5 million when we rejected him, and he turned out to be a good keeper, and the $50 million Onana turned out to be was trash? We can't cut a break. No, we can't. We cannot. No. Although, and just checking through other news that has just dropped up. Actually, the last little video I've got on my feed in conversation here is that Eli Harrison actual save. I did have it saved last night. Kaz sent it across to me as well. And obviously, again, top subject right now. You see a United academy goalkeeper making miraculous saves. Well, our number one goalkeeper is just flapping at absolutely everything. It is confusing, isn't it? It is confusing. Thank you again to all of the mods. Thank you again, Realist as well. Great comments in there from everyone. And all the mods keeping that live chat going as well. We have got some great mods in here. And everyone is being looked after as always. Realist, I can see you there dropping in some nice comments as well. Great and great as always. At it as well. And Stu, love it everybody. Keep it up. Saturday morning. And everybody around right now looking at this Newcastle game is really... Sorry, Realist isn't an actual mod. He's just a member, but he's doing a pretty damn good job as well. But, yeah, Saturday morning, looking into the Newcastle game, that's all anybody's thinking about. I'm looking through all of the news. I'm reading through absolutely everything, all of the reports on all of the other stories going around. And it is, right now, all talk about Andre Onana being dropped from Manchester United. Verbruggen, by the way, from Brighton. Do you think that Verbruggen is a good enough goalkeeper to come into Manchester United? Where are you at with that one? A few more comments are coming in. Let's just see right now. Jeffrey saying, surely Kelleher has to be a good shout in the summer. He would be, and it is realistic, but not realistic in terms of Manchester United buying a goalkeeper from Liverpool. It's never going to happen. Peter says, no goalkeeper could learn anything from Onana. He was brought on a whimper, and what he did with Inter, which has done us in. Well, that one game, that one season, you could say. I was speaking to fans outside Old Trafford, I think it was Double A, who said we were sold a dream off for one good season. Again, it's very similar to the situation with Rasmus Højlund up front. One good season doesn't warrant spending that much money on somebody. It is poor recruitment, and that's all it is as well. Talking about recruitment as well, Manchester United actively, obviously in the market. We know the players that we're after. We know the players that we want. Just to bring you up to date on all of the transfer news and what's going on. Javi Simons now not a target for Liverpool. Could there be a link between Christopher Vivel and his time at RB Leipzig, where Simons is? Don't forget, Simons was bought in January from PSG by Leipzig. He's been on loan there for 2 seasons prior to that. And now a permanent move has been made, but they are looking to sell Simons. Just to clarify and add the situation to what's going on there. Is Simons definitely being sold by Leipzig after just being bought by Leipzig 6 months ago, pretty much? That's the situation with it. United have been tracking him for 2 years now. We know this. We know from Van Nistelrooy's days with PSV and Simons. He had a great Euros as well, put his name right out there. Obviously, Manchester United chased him throughout the summer, but Manchester United were doing too much business with PSG regarding Manuel Ugarte to actually get down to business and get a deal done for Javi Simons. So, Simons, at the age he is in that category of investment, yes, for Manchester United and Ineos. He is very, very expensive, though. And it's going to cost upwards of 60 million, again, near 70 million, if somebody wants to take him from Leipzig this summer. This is a question, like, would you go for Javi Simons? If we're talking about spending 60 plus million on Cunha, is Premier League experience where it's at right now? Because this is where everything seems to be angled. Everything is angled in towards the Premier League proven players, like the Diblins, the Cunhas, the Liam Delaps, the Verbruggens in goal as well. Key positions that United need to change this summer, all from Premier League footballers, from Premier League clubs. That's the going conversation at the moment. And Javi Simons, again, I don't know. I don't think United have got enough money to spend. Now, again, it all comes back to sorting out this season, of course. I said this yesterday. I watched all of the quarterfinals. Nobody impressed at all. Nobody. Bilbao against Rangers, poor result for them against 10-men Rangers, 0-0. Frankfurt and Tottenham didn't set the world alight. I mean, Bodo Glimt beating Lazio was probably the biggest shock of all. United have got a chance of winning this Europa League. 100% out of the teams that are left in it, we should be winning it. I think that was made quite clear in the quarterfinals. You put Baindir in goal, you clear a problem. Right there for Manchester United. And all of a sudden, if we do win the Europa League, and we get into the Champions League, does Simons Does players like Shirky, does all of these types of players all come into the equation then? Do we start looking to spend a little bit more money? Now, I don't think we will. I think we'll have our targets no matter what. They're not going to go overspend and do what they've done before just because we're in the Champions League. Them days are not there anymore. Them days are, for me, long gone with the Ed Woodwards and Murtaughs of the world. The old Glazer regime, I think, is why we are not even going to be looking at spending them sorts of money going into a transfer window. What we are looking at, I think, is investing the money into younger players, if they are the right ones. And I know that we like Simons, and I know that he is improving season on season. So he could be a possibility. The reason Liverpool are out of the running for Simons is obviously because Salah has signed his new contract at Liverpool. So that's the story around him. They are out of that and out of the race for Javi Simons. That's not going to happen for Liverpool anyway. But then looking forward past that, what else are we looking at in terms of players coming in? Obviously, we had the story yesterday that Cunha and Liam Delap are Manchester United's top 2 targets, followed by Tyler Diblin as well, the backup to everything that's going on. United will be buying and are going fully in for for Cunha and for Liam Delap. That is definitely happening. That was covered yesterday and was definitely, I think, confirmed yesterday. Romano pretty much saying the same thing. United can afford him as well, saying the athletic, feasible, plausible, and definitely 100% where United are going this summer. But again, it goes back to what I said in terms of Premier League proven players over players being brought in from abroad. Everybody so far is from the Premier League. Interesting. Maybe they've given up on trying to find the right player. We will see, won't we? I saw Bodo Glimt versus Lazio. It's not that Glimt won, but they dominated the game and should have won by more, and much more actually. 4-5-0 would have been a fair result. They are impressive, but we still beat Bodo Glimt. I remember that game, actually. 3-2 at Old Trafford, remember it? It's crazy. But yeah, good team. I would rather be playing them in the final than bleeding anybody else on that side of the draw. Lazio, Frankfurt or Spurs. Obviously, we've got to deal with our side of the draw first in Lyon and Bilbao, no doubt, before we get there. But I like the pathway. I like what I'm looking at. And United, I think, need to take advantage of that Old Trafford factor as well when it comes to it. So, let's get a few more comments on this before we move on to the last bit of news on today's agenda, which isn't good news, by the way. So stay tuned for that one. Thing with Bodo Glimt is that they have a really high max level, but can also drop to the abysmal levels. Depends on the occasion, I take it. Yes. Let's just see what we've got in here right now in terms of the players and what's happening. Would anyone take Simons? I'm still looking for comments on that one right now. United scouts and squad recruitment are partially to blame. No one has found gems like Edison for City, Alisson for Liverpool, Salah for Liverpool, Rodri for City. I mean, we did have scouts actually looking at all of these players. And United were interested in all of these players, but the powers that be at the top of the club, the decision makers, were the ones that didn't go forward with these players. There's a lot of players that are at City that United also scouted and did reports on and was recommended, but United didn't buy them. For one reason or another. Like, you can delve into the issues at United. You only have to look at the people that are no longer at the football club to understand why we didn't get these players. So, yes. Marky says Simons is overrated. Shirky plus Simons or Doué. Doué's definitely not going to happen. Actually being bought by PSG in the summer. And no chance that he's going to be sold. Henry says Højlund should have been loaned out to get experience. He has been in the graveyard shift since he joined us. So what's the point in getting a number 9 when your wingers don't feed your striker? Well, they do feed the striker. He has had chances, Henry. We keep making excuses for Rasmus Højlund. Patrick Dorgu was brought in and laid one on a plate for him in that game against Lyon. He had one on a plate against Arsenal. He should have scored in the game, which one was it now at Old Trafford? He should have scored in the game against Sociedad. Missing massive, massive chances. for Manchester United at crucial stages. Rasmus Højlund cannot be sent on loan because we spent so much money on him. That's the problem. Adam, what's your target? What's the target for next season? Top 4 beyond us? Too big of a jump in one season? Well, the point's been proven that it isn't really in Nottingham Forest. If Forest can do it, why can't United do it? That's how you would balance it, isn't it? It's been done before. It has been done before. I think United's target next season is top 6. Definitely cement your position in the Europa League for next season, I think, is where United need to go. And then if we're in there and we're in the mix, let's push on. Let's get what we can. Let's not forget, we're going to have some younger players that have matured a lot more going into next season and are going to be better. You're hoping that Kobe Mainu has signed up and is better. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Garnacho. I think he'll go in the summer, personally. But then you've got Lenny Yoro, you've got Aiden Heaven, you've got Dorgu adapting as well. Obviously, you've got the new signings coming in. If United aim for top 6, then we are in a mix for the Champions League anyway, aren't we? And we can push on, and you never know. A full season, pre-season with Ruben Amorim, you've also got the opportunity of Manchester United actually playing a bit better football as well. So let's just work off what we've got, add to it, and then that way we can look at maybe pushing on towards the back end of the season. But Europa League football is United's target next season. Even I've had to sort of succumb to accepting that lower level targets. But I think Europa League top 6 is definitely gettable for Manchester United next season. Next story on the show is the job cuts and savings for Manchester United. So it's job cuts and savings. Actually, quickly, I just want to drop this one into the chat before I move on to this. Douglas Luiz wants to come back to the Premier League and he's eyeing up a move to Manchester United. That's according to Gazzetta dello Sport from Italy. 34 million. He's going to be 27 next month. Is he worth it at that? Do you rate him? Injury record, obviously not worked at Juve. Why didn't it work at Juve? He's only played 22 games this season. Great at Villa. That was a good signing for Juve. Not worked though. Would you go there? Just drop them in the comments. I'm not going to do too much on that. That's just a report that's come out from Italian sources. So let me know on that one as well. But into the next story, which is Ineos. Job cuts. There is a story going around which I have been told from sources at United is true, because there's more staff at United starting to worry, because the report is another 130 job cuts are going to be made at Manchester United going into the summer. And our man on the ground, Sully, has actually been told by staff at Manchester United inside Carrington that they're all starting to stress and worry a little bit more. Another 130 jobs to go. And this story is starting to gather momentum now. You would have thought that this wasn't really... Surely they're not going to get rid of more. We're talking now, we're into the realms of what? Maybe 600, if this is right. Job cuts, if you add everything up. More than 600 jobs gone. That's a lot of money as well to save. And you can see what Ineos are doing. And obviously we're talking about it now because it's relevant and it's real and it's right now. We've still not found one member of staff that's sort of come out and said they're upset with the package that they've been given in terms of redundancy. So I'm balancing it that way. But again, kind of shows you the desperate nature of where Ineos are at and how they're trying to make Manchester United profitable. It is drastic. It is. And when you look at it and you look at other football clubs, you look at Manchester United's staffing situation, and we did have an influx in staff. I think it was from 2018 going forward. Manchester United's staffing went through the roof for some reason. And it's hard to figure out why and what these people are actually doing when you look at it from the outside. Obviously, if you're in there and you're in amongst it, it's a different story. But looking at it, you're going, actually, did we need all of these jobs? Ineos are saying no, and job cuts are coming, and that has been confirmed as well from Sully as well. Sully Talks has told us he's had messages from people at Manchester United saying that they're now starting to get concerned. We are saving more money. We are saving money and making money on this tour that's coming in this summer as well. Obviously, we know that we're off to Malaysia. Now, the reports were that United are going to make somewhere in the region of 8 million. That has now risen to approximately 10 million for Manchester United. And we have obviously we've accepted and we have entered into the US tour as well, the mini tournament which we're playing. I think we're playing some teams like Everton. I think Chicago, Atalanta are 2 destinations we're playing in. So that part of the tour, 3 games in the States as well as the Malaysia tour at the end of the season, is about to make Manchester United 25 million this summer alone in tour revenues. Now that added to what we're trying to make elsewhere from transfers is very, very good. Again, but it is a business taking over Manchester United and running them like a business, basically. And the football side of it has been, I think, forgotten about in this. Is it too much? Are we doing too much to the players? Is it a concern that these players are going to be absolutely burnt out before we've even started the season? This is the one season where there's nothing going on. No international tournaments, no extra games. All of a sudden, because there's no extra games, we're having to make extra games just to make money. And the push and the reports are that the push, I've talked about this before, to play these games straight after the season in Malaysia is to put that into Manchester United's annual finances to balance PSR. Obviously, the 30th of June is when you've got to hand in, or you've got to declare all of your finances for the PSR financial year. And then from July 1st, you can start spending money again for the next year. So United doing this early tour, because let's not forget, the rest of the American tour is not going to be until July. And obviously then you're into the new PSR year. So what money you make off that is then calculated into the next financial year's figures. But this one, the Malaysia one, is all being put forward and pushed forward right to the end of the season so we could squeeze in that extra 10 million to balance PSR. And I think what reports are saying and what I've read, and there was a story in the MEN this morning talking about this, about Manchester United feeling that is just going to level up everything, and that's going to just give them the ultimate confidence going into the final stages of the financial year to make sure that they are covered with everything necessary to meet the guidelines and meet all of the like the cut-offs for financial fair play and PSR. That's what's going to happen. That's why we're doing that, basically. I thought that at the time, but that story has just really just boosted that and said that that is definitely why Manchester United are doing it. So that's pretty much confirmed that United have squeezed this in just to get a little bit more money right at the end of the financial year, just so they don't get any punishment or point deductions going into the new season, because let's be honest, that would be an absolute disaster for Ruben Amorim. Okay, let's get into some of the comment section and see what you're saying. Thank you everybody for joining us on the show this morning, Saturday morning. Excited for the football? I think the early kickoff today is what? It's Palace and City, isn't it? Today is the early kickoff. Be an interesting game. City, I think, on the brink, really, right now, aren't they, in terms of qualifying for the Champions League? It's going to be really interesting. Jonathan says, are these job cuts a real savings, or is it a shift in policy? Are Ineos removing direct employees in favour of outsourcing some roles? No idea, and I don't think we're going to know about it, Jonathan. They have said that this is to cut down the outlay, basically. That's what they've always said. We are paying too much. We have too many staff. There is too much outgoings from United. So the angle, I think, is purely down to cutting Manchester United's outgoings. That's what it is. I'm pretty certain. And they've been quite upfront with that. It's just that Manchester United are forking out too much money and they're having to save where they can. No point talking about Desiree Doué. PSG knows he is a star and would never sell him. No, they only bought him last summer. United were actually in for Desiree Doué last summer, and PSG got in there before us. These clowns better pray we don't get long-term injuries on this circus tour. Well, we'll see, won't we? That's the concern, isn't it? Playing too many games. And crap pitches as well, usually as well. That's a big problem, isn't it? All this flying around the world, we should stay at home at this pre-season to work on everything we need to do next season. It's not going to happen. It never will happen anymore. It's always going to be about making the money, sadly, Andy. ATKO says, I was building hope for the team next season after 2 good shows, but first half versus Leon was slow, and second to lose the balls. Not getting excited now. Hello, Babs, in the chat as well. Adam, how much is the cash prize for winning the Europa League? 25 million, I think, is what United would gain from winning the Europa League, but I think that's a combination of everything. I think United, from this point going forward, as in what we earn through these next stages to get to the final, then winning the final adds to the pot. I think it was somewhere in the region, if United go all of the way and win it, I think it's about 45 million. But obviously the bigger prize is actually being in the Champions League and the riches that brings next season. So, yeah, I think it's in the realms of 45 million in total for winning it. And that adds everything together. So all of your gate receipts, all of your winning bonuses throughout the tournaments, you get money for winning games, you get a certain amount for drawing games. And obviously with more games going through into the final, added all together as a full package, approximately, and this was something that I did on another show, I think it was a few weeks ago, it's reported that you earn about 45 million if you win the Europa League. And that's everything together. And that's the club's finances added to the winnings from UEFA. So your receipts and everything, TV money, and then UEFA's money on top. So that's it, basically. Good question, actually, because I think there's a few people actually don't know how much United are earning from it. So it does pay to win the Europa League. It gives us that bit extra money. But, wow, being in the Champions League, that changes everything into the summer. And that's 45 million plus being able to balance your books next year with all of that Champions League money. And if you did like what Villa are doing, I think Villa will probably earn double, maybe even more than what Manchester United would in going as far as they have in the Champions League for United winning the Europa League. That's the difference. Getting into the knockout phases of the Champions League earns you a minimum, I think it was estimated 60 plus million for just going through the league phase, and getting into the knockout phase gets you that much money because of that extra added value to the competition that UEFA put in at the start. They bumped up the prize money with extra games, and they did. I think it was, well, the way I reported it, the way I looked at it was FIFA and UEFA, obviously to counteract the Super League, which is still trying to go ahead, by the way, crazy as it sounds. What they did was come together. FIFA said they would do the Club World Cup, which they would take no money from. So FIFA earn nothing from the Club World Cup, which City and Chelsea are in, and the prize money for that is over 100 million if you win it. It's mental. And UEFA's side of it was bumping up the money in the Champions League. So UEFA and FIFA together have kept teams in their biggest competitions, because if you win the Champions League, you can go into FIFA's Club World Cup. So from UEFA to FIFA, that was their plan to counter the Super League. And pretty much giving teams more and more money if you stay with us. And that's where we're at right now. Obviously, domestic leagues are trying to do what they can, but the money is in the Champions League. And the Champions League takes you into FIFA's competition, and then the real money kicks in. So that's where you're at. You have to have won, I think, the Champions League, or have been significantly involved in it over the last 4 years to be even thought of to go into the Club World Cup. So we're miles off that at the moment. We need to get into the Champions League first of all, and United will still earn a lot of money. A lot of money. By the way, tomorrow is one of our long-standing subscribers/members' birthdays in Babs. Everybody, please make sure that you're in the shows tomorrow so we can wish Babs a happy birthday on match day. I'm pretty certain it is tomorrow for Babs on her birthday. So, yes, we'll say it all weekend, Babs. Well, let's just call it Babs' birthday weekend. One of our longest-serving members and subscribers to the channel. Also tonight, everybody, it's quiz night. The ultimate Manchester United quiz is tonight. In fact, just let me get the link again. I'm going to drop it in for everybody to have. I know there's a few people that have actually joined into it and have actually got their tickets ready to go. So how it works is, it is £2 a ticket to enter. There is a prize for the winner, a cash prize for the winner as well. I'm going to drop the link in right now. Right, there it is. It's pinned up in the live chat. Please get involved. So, in tonight's content, later on this evening, we are doing a Manchester United Ultimate Quiz. I will keep you posted later on to normal timing. So, after the football, content usually starts around about 7:15. So, just be in and around about 7:15 to keep it simple, and you will know about everything going on. The quiz is 15 questions, multiple choice, £2 to buy a ticket. If you click on that link, you get access to the site where you can buy your tickets. Then about 10 minutes before the quiz starts, you will be sent a notification and a link directly to the quiz, which is run off your mobile device, on your phone or your tablet, whatever you're running off. And we are live on YouTube at the same time. So we're running the show, I'm running it, the quiz is on YouTube, and you can answer the questions directly off your phone on it while we are live. It's brilliant, the setup's great, I can't wait to do it. I know a few people have got them already. You do win a cash prize if you enter, everybody. So make sure you click on that link in the live chat now, please, everybody. Get involved in the quiz. It's going to be something a little bit different tonight, as well as the normal content, of course. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a ball tonight. I mean, let's be honest. What else is on a Saturday night? It's shit, innit? It's crap. So, yeah, that is tonight's entertainment for you all. Make sure you get involved. 15 questions, multiple choice. You will win money if you are top of the leaderboard. You will win. There is a prize. It is £2 to enter, and you will be winning a prize if you win it. Please do get involved in the competition, everybody. It's going to be a ball tonight. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. If you enter, you buy your tickets, you're in with a chance of winning the cash prize later on. But you do need to be top of the leaderboard to win it. So, are you better than the next person? Do you feel like your Manchester United knowledge is good enough and you can win it? Let's see. Everyone will be there later on, and I'm looking forward to doing it. It's going to be a blast. Cannot wait. Thank you, by the way, for everyone who has liked the video. That's up to 200 live likes, which is epic for a Saturday morning. Thank you. Let's quickly just get through a few more comments in case anybody's asking any questions. If you've got any questions regarding the quiz, drop them in the live comment section right now before we finish up, please, everybody. Just to go over all of the news again, Manchester United talks of dropping Andre Onana for the game against Newcastle count for nothing unless Baindir, whoever replaces Onana, is playing for the rest of the season, in my opinion. It counts for nothing if Onana is still in goal against Lyon. What is the point? Has Ruben got the balls to make the call and drop Onana for the rest of this season? That's what we're asking. And that's the point I've been making. Why can't Højlund go on loan? Because we spent too much money on him. Absolute nonsense. Not really. Because we do. If we get another striker in, United may think about it. Might send him out on loan to do better. But again, it all comes down to the transfers and what we bring in first of all. So it's not like he can't, but right now we can't because we haven't got a striker. And United do need to make, I think, a couple of signings if we are going to get rid of Rasmus Højlund. Because we can't just bring in one striker and loan another one out. Because we haven't got a cover. We need two, at least next season. And I don't think Joshua Zirkzee is a striker. Although he is doing a lot better, I do believe that we need two strikers this summer. And if that means Højlund stays behind the one that we're bringing in, that might have to be it. All depending on, again, like we said at the top of the show, what United do and if we qualify for the Champions League. We need to win the Europa League to do that, though. So, that is that. ATKO says, Maguire has only improved slightly, mate. He's been class since he came, and it's mass hysteria. I blame him for own goals while covering Lindelof's hiding. He's only +7. He's only 7+. Conversation between two different people arguing amongst whether Maguire is good enough or not. That's usually what happens on these shows because everybody does have strong opinions, of course. And yes, sometimes opinions do go over the top. So please just be polite in the chat, everybody. If Baindir is going to play next Thursday, he's got to play tomorrow. True, Graham. I agree with that one. Graham Richardson with that one. I think he needs to play a few games. Like I said at the top, my idea, my plan would be Onana now plays out the rest of the season. Give him his chance. And effectively, when you look at it financially, if you're looking to sell Onana or you're looking to sell Baindir, who are you going to make the most money off? You're not going to make the most money off Onana with PSR because we owe too much still. Baindir, if he plays out a few games, he could put himself right into the market. He could be United's #1 keeper next season, but with what we paid for him and what he could be worth, say for instance, we need to sell Onana for 30 to 35 million. I didn't say Onana play the rest of the season. I meant Baindir play the rest of the season. Sorry about that, everybody, if I did say that then. Baindir, rest of the season. Think, for instance, if Onana, we need to sell him for 30 million, then we're not going to make any money off that for PSR. He's off the books and he's gone. That's great. But if Bayindir was sold for 20 million, then we would make a lot of profit off that. Near 15 million, in fact, for Bayindir. So play him for the rest of the season, because you make more money off him in the summer, or you keep him and he can be the number one. You see what I mean? It works out better, and it ultimately, for me, is United's best chance of getting into the Champions League. The riches come with Bayindir in goal. Whichever way you look at it. That's the point I'm making. But that is our show today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back later on this evening. Like I said, it's the big quiz. The link in the live chat right there, everybody. Please do join in. Only £2 a ticket to enter. Then you are in with a chance of winning the cash prize at the end if you are the smartest Manchester United fan in the room. And you've got a good knowledge. We'll see, won't we? Questions for all. Some from the past and some from the present. But for now, that's it, everybody. Give the video a like on the way out if you love the content. Please make sure you have that subscribe button as well. And I will see you all in a later video this evening. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Enjoy the football. Up the Reds. That's tomorrow, though, isn't it? Yeah, so, yeah.